Hey guys, welcome to a brand new video to the channel and welcome back to the main account. So with this video, I'm going to be talking through what I plan to do for the main account going forward for the next 6 months as my AFK moneymaker. Now previously, whenever I need to set AFK, I've been doing things like mining or archaeology because they've been the best sort of returns for sort of like GP per hour. And now I've decided I want to switch up my money making method. So the reason why I've done this is basically because eternal magical logs are starting to become one of the best AFK methods in the game. Now, with the most recent double XP, it made me realise that the magical short bows Mark V were basically in essence the burial version for fletching. And because of that, the bows went up and were considerable profits if you fletch them from the base bow. Not only that as well, they have now released items for runecrafting where you can create the wand, orb or staff and then turn these with runecrafting into the final versions. Now, the really good point for all of these is that when you're upgrading the Eternal base up to the next tier of weapon, they are very AFK. And because they're very AFK, you can sit and basically not pay attention to the screen. Now, I recently just done a stint of working from home where I was spending the day upgrading the bows from like tier 2 all the way up to tier 5. And it was so AFK, and where I've only got to click the bow or the workbench every now and then, I've decided until the next double XP, what I'm going to be doing is making bows and stacking them in the bank. And the reason why I'm not selling them is because I imagine these bows are going to go a lot higher before a double XP. So what I'm going to be doing for the next considerable amount of time is just stocking up and throwing them in the bank. Because of the prices of Eternal Magical Logs now, the actual output in terms of how much GP I need to spend to upgrade these bows is relatively quite low. Like, I think the whole from base to end of the bow is only going to cost 100k. So I'm more than happy to have these stacked up over time. And then when the double XP is announced or it comes up, I'm quite confident I can sell these bows between 5 to 600k. Maybe even more depending on how hyped it is. The double XP just gone. The first time they could be turned into martial bows through double XP. And I think people have realised quite quickly, A, how AFK it is. But also the fact the sheer XP you're going to get for it is going to be crazy for the amount of GP you're going to use. Don't get me wrong, things like the God Arrows and Arrows to a Point and Dart Tip are really good XP, but I think nothing offers the pure XP variety which the Eternal Magical Bows do. So I'm quite lucky now because runecrafting has come in. There are now two options. Either I want to make the bows, which, yeah, I want to train fletching anyway. It's really nice, it's really AFK. But also, I now have the option to train Eternal Magical Weapons. So this is something brand new which has come from the runecrafting update, and I've not done a full video explaining it, but I thought it was worthwhile. We can do that now and go through it. So I'll just finish these two bows, and then once these bows are finished, we can go through the magical methods. But basically, you make a magical weapon through the log. So if you click the log, you can then make either a magical staff, wand or orb. So for the purpose of the video, I'm just going to make one magical staff and we'll talk through how we upgrade it very shortly. So this represents a bit of a shift in the AFK skilling which Jagex have moved with ever since this was released with 110 fletching. Before then, the only real way to get some serious AFK XP for runecrafting especially was with proteins, or at least with fletching you had the option of the God Arrows as well. What Jagex has done with the use of Eternal Magical Logs is not only give a reason for people to woodcut the magical logs anyway, which is good, because it means the logs will keep their price, but it means that people now have a way to AFK skill, which is going to bring a product onto the Grand Exchange, which is going to bring people more AFK XP to buy instead of things like proteins. These bows or these staffs will offer you more XP and more AFK ability than the proteins, which encourages people to do that through the game. But for those people who enjoy skilling, and especially AFK skilling to make profit, these are some of the best money makers we've had to the game for a long time. And I really think that if they sort of use these logs further in further skills, who knows, it might be used in crafting or some other skills further along the lines. The demand on Eternal Magical Logs can get to a point where people can make some serious profit from woodcutting. They're not too bad at like 3.5 to 4k, but if there's demand on the Eternal Magical Logs which will increase even more, it just means that more and more people can make money woodcutting as well. But these Eternal Magical Logs will bring you profit through woodcutting themselves, fletching, making the bows, but now also runecrafting for these final weapons. So these final weapons, very similar to the bow, you upgrade them to what is called the Saturated Staff. And the Saturated Staff is essentially then the Tier 5 staff. So for the next one, you will need to have to go to the ZMI altar, and then you can then convert that staff into AFK XP, which can be doubled on a double XP. So if someone is seriously after the increased AFK XP, very similar to how you would buy a +5 smithing item to then convert it to burial, the bow and the staff or wand or orb work in a similar way. So you can buy the Mark 5 bow, the Mark 5 staff or wand or orb, and convert it to some serious AFK XP, which on a double XP will be doubled and enhanced with all the other buffs as well. So people can buy incredibly high XP rate AFK items, but it gives people the chance to create these items, which means it's even more money for the skillers out there who really enjoy doing the AFK skilling methods. And for me, it's even more of an incentive now for players to go and get the runecrafting level, go and get the fletching level, to get access to these methods, because they're going to be serious AFK moneymakers for quite a while. And for me, and especially on my account, which has the accessibility to all these high level skills, I will be doing these two methods for my AFK for the considerable future and slowly building a stack over time. So when the next double XP is announced, I'll be able to show you guys, look, over the past 3 months, because we normally have them quarterly now, I have AFK'd this amount of bows, this amount of staffs, and this is how much I have made from them. So I am looking forward to that. I think I'll make a lot of money from it as well, which for this account, that's the goal this year, is to make some more money on the main account, because the main account really does need it. So what we're going to go and do though, we are going to go and grab our items, go and runecraft. We'll find the pouches. Now what you can do is use this with any altar to upgrade. So for the time being, I'm going to try and give myself the best chance to speed myself up as quick as possible. I am going to use the Wicked Hood. Now I have some Wicked Hood teleports available. You can buy Wicked Hood teleports. I only found out the other day at the Runespan shop, so you can convert Runespan points into Wicked Hood patch teleport. You do actually get a few of the Wicked Hood teleports now through Treasure Hunter as well, which I think is nice because they're getting a bit niche and to a point where you weren't getting too many. So what you need is your magical staff, and then if you teleport, let's say we'll go to the Soul Altar for purpose sake. And the good thing with the Wicked Hood as well every day is that you have the ability to have some extra essence. So for the first few stages of the magical staff, you will upgrade quite quickly. It won't need as much resources. And then very similar to the bow, it will take a little bit more for each step you go. So you use the staff on the altar to imbue it. And then as you can see here, the process is that you then imbue this. Very similar to how the protein animation is. But what you're using every time you're going to use this interaction, you are then using 1 pure essence. So the more essence you can carry per trip, and that's why the brand new pouch is very good, even though it's very expensive because the price of the magical thread is absolutely crazy at the minute. But the more trips you can do, the more essence you can carry. Use your Wicked Hood daily, even if it's just to upgrade these daily as well. You can then turn this into the next tier of staff. So once you're at the next tier of staff, then you then do the same process and you keep rolling until you get to tier 5, which is the saturated staff. So once you've got a saturated staff, that's the one you want to sell. And at the minute, I believe the price is quite steep. Obviously, they're new items. People will runecraft these more and more. But on the lead up to the next double XP, especially if people want to get 104 runecrafting or get to a very high runecrafting level, people will buy these staffs for a significant price. So once you've used all the pure essence in your invo, it'll then start chipping away at the pure essence in your pouches. You don't have to withdraw them or anything. It will just work its way through the pouches as well. But that brand new pouch, we're going to do a video sort of starting it from start to bottom. I have already got a couple of the items sorted. As you can see there, we've finished imbuing the staff. We have now made a Menagerie staff. Just use it again on the altar. You'll then upgrade it, and then you'll go through the same process again. As you can see here, we're creating a weak magical staff, which is the next step up. And you basically work through this process quite easily. So the Wicked Hood here is really good for a few reasons. One, it's going to teleport you very quickly to a bank. I would suggest like war, and then back as well. So you're cutting the time it's going to take to go back and forward. Now, the one downside is doing this method, I'm not sure if you can get magical thread. I do have a slight feeling that you can. And again, that would be massive if you could. But if you're looking for sheer speed to upgrade this, this is the best way to do it. So I'll just withdraw some essence and we can keep going. So in terms of an AFK method, I'm going to pretty much be hopping between mining, woodcutting, fletching and runecrafting for this year. I'm really going to sort of set myself a goal of making a decent amount of the weapons and the bows for a double XP to show you guys, look, if you have the skill to do it, this is how much you can make just by doing a little bit of AFKing every now and then. Just to encourage people to like get these levels over a double XP, like especially 104 runecrafting. Yes, it's very steep, But if you really targeted it over a double XP, you use things like your proteins, maybe you could use the stats over a double XP as well. It means you could make even more profit than normal. However, really do think this is a great way to start AFKing now. They've really brought AFKing forward with this. Like, for people who want to make money with AFKing, I think it'd be something very much worthwhile doing. And now making money through these AFK methods are better than ever. So really interested to see how this is going to go forward. Obviously, when we decide to sell them, I'll do a video to show you guys sort of the stats and stuff. I'm going to reset my XP counts as well to sort of show you the XP I've got from getting this over time. Obviously, it will include things like lamps if I occasionally get them for those skills. But I think it'd be a really good sort of demonstration to show you guys what you could make if you were really interested in doing it as well. But that's going to wrap this video up. Probably the best AFK high-level money-making methods we're going to have for a while. Unless something really like strikes a decent item rise. Yes, things like archaeology items could sort of push this for money-making per hour. But I do think for a while, these two brand new methods will be massive. And especially on either of the double XP, there'll be even more profit because people will want these items and it will be heavily in demand. But I'm going to wrap the video up there. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you have, please make sure to leave me a like, subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys very soon in the next one.